In our TTRPGs, there are many worlds we can choose to play in. But what lies between these worlds? How do we get from one to another? Well, how about the Labyrinth? This is Kobold Press's newest Kickstarter that's out right now. And today we're going to dive in and take a look at what the Labyrinth is all about. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. I'm Joe, and this is the GM Toolbox, your go to place to get all the tools that you need to enhance your TTRPG games. Before we get started today, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the little bell for notifications so you know when new videos come out. This will help me grow the channel and keep bringing you some new content. The Labyrinth is a world between worlds. This is Kobold Press's newest campaign setting book. And the idea is to connect all the different fantasy RPG worlds that we love, that we like to play in. Anything from their own Midgard setting to your homebrew game can exist within the Labyrinth. It is this realm that interconnects everything. And it is actually a pretty cool concept. I have to say, in the beginning, I kind of had some doubts about this whole concept. I'm a big fan of Cobalt Press's Midgard setting, and I wanted more of that. But then they came out with a like 70 something page PDF that was a little preview of the Labyrinth. And I started reading it and I really, really enjoyed it. It gives this very unique way of connecting different worlds and using a lot of, existing lore, things like, the astral planes, the nine hells, the river Styx, the void, all these different things. And they kind of put it in there, and if you are a fan of Midgard, I think you'll like this as well because I have found that it kind of answers some of the questions about what Midgard is. Questions that maybe we've held for a long time. So let's head over to the webpage here. Let's take a look at the Kickstarter. Let's see what we're getting out of this, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. Okay, so here is the Kickstarter page for the Labyrinth. Now, you can see at the time of this recording that it has raised over $257,000 of its $50,000 goal with over 2,100 backers and still got 25 days to go. So it is still a fairly new Kickstarter. It launched on Monday. I would have probably made this video sooner, but I was out of town. So here we are. But if you did back within the first 48 hours, you got a special coin for the Labyrinth that you would use to get across the river Styx. It's kind of just a cool little handout kind of coin that you can use in your games. So I did back it during that. So I'm excited to get that coin one day and be able to do a video and show you guys all of the cool stuff once this Kickstarter fulfills. But let's take a look here. So they do have a video, which I'll let you watch on your own. But let's get down and look into the nitty gritty. So, welcome to the Labyrinth, the place between worlds. Come visit the Labyrinth, where the seeds of creation grow and ancient cosmic forces vie for supremacy. Journey to the smithy, where keys to new portals are forged. Visit the dark hells awash in blood, or dream with the power of a god. So, sounds cool, right? You can actually learn quite a bit more about things like the keys to portals and stuff like that. That's one of the factions we'll talk about later. But I definitely suggest heading over to Kobold Press's site and getting their Labyrinth PDF that they have. That is actually really, really cool and gives you a nice little taste of what the Labyrinth is. So as we scroll down here, let's see a little bit about the Labyrinth. So it's more than a campaign setting. The Labyrinth is the web connecting your favorite 5e Tales of the Valiant campaign, or 5e and Tales of the Valiant campaign settings and homebrew world. So this should be usable for not just Tales of the Valiant, which is Kobold Press's own, first party system now, which is built off of 2014 5e. You can see the Tales of the Valiant logos here in the book binding. So I think a lot of things like player options and stuff like that we're going to see in the book will be more geared towards Tales of the Valiant, but again, all compatible with 5e. So you can definitely use it. Kobold Press, don't forget, does provide a conversion guide to convert from 5e to TOV, but that does kind of work the other way around. So if you are playing Dungeons and Dragons 5e and there's a subclass or something that you want to use that is part of Tales of the Valiant and you want to use it in D&D, you can totally reverse that back the other way and it will work. A path to tell cosmic saga of creation and the corrupting void. Joining the Labyrinth Kickstarter gets you both a dynamic setting book and a set of epic adventures. So we do see two books here. Now I believe last I heard the page count for the world book was around 270 something pages, but that'll probably grow with the stretch goals. Let's see here. Explore a cosmic background of arcane secrets, deadly enemies, and ambitious factions. Traverse legendary locations without ruining your current campaign. Confront and capture cataclysmic monsters in the enigmatic near void. Create entire worlds on a whim and destroy them just as fast with new GM tools. This sounds cool. I do like that the idea is that, especially with this whole traversing locations without ruining your current campaign. If you are in a Forgotten Realms campaign and you want to enter the labyrinth and do stuff there, or you want to move over to Midgard for a short time but be able to come back to the Forgotten Realms, the labyrinth provides the tools to do that. That is the idea of the labyrinth. It connects the different worlds, but getting from one world to the next is an adventure within itself, and there are dangers within the labyrinth, things like the void. There are creatures there. The minotaurs are a big part of the labyrinth, unsurprisingly, right? Like we know just from lore that the minotaur in the labyrinth was a big thing in Greek mythology. So that does carry over here. So it's kind of the idea is that it's a campaign overlay. So the Labyrinth World Book provides something new in 5e tabletop, a campaign overlay. It is a means to connect together as many existing campaign settings as you desire by adding the labyrinth as a connecting layer and source of adventure. Tired of the realms but might want to return? Take the long way through the labyrinth to another world and go back home anytime. Want to visit the hells but don't want to torch your whole campaign? It's covered. Ready to invade a god's dream and make it real? Sure, there's a faction devoted to that. Ready to visit the near void to kick horrific world-eating monsters to the curb? Well, they're waiting for you. Let us know how it turns out. Want to drink from the wells of creation and make a world of your own? Okay, that might take some doing. The Labyrinth lifts your homebrew campaigns from amazing to mind bending. Yeah, a lot of tools. I'm gonna assume here, and we'll look through some of the stuff. But I think we're gonna see a lot of GM tools to help facilitate a lot of this stuff. So what do we get? Well, we get the Labyrinth World Book, which provides GMs 10 core worlds and dozens of minor ones, hundreds of adventure hooks, 30 new monsters, 9 major villainous factions, maps of the major locations of the labyrinth, traps, hazards, and campaign guidance for multiversal play. And then the Labyrinth World Book provides for players 6 new lineages and heritages, including Star Elves, Minotaurs, no surprise there, Gear Forged, and new Dragonborn, including Radiant and Void Radiance. So that sounds pretty cool. I like the new Dragonborn. More than 60 new spells for Portal, Dream, Radiant, and Void magic. Some of this we've seen before, especially I know Void magic definitely comes from the Deep Magic books from Kobold Press. Dozens of new vehicles and magical items. New magic items always cool. I'm very curious about what the new vehicles are. Are these things to traverse the void, to traverse the astral planes, to traverse the river Styx, which is a big part of the labyrinth. New subclasses including the Spirit Path, Barbarian, Shock Trooper, Fighter. That sounds cool. Radiant Warlock, and many more. And we'll look at a list here in a little bit. So what do you get? Well, the Labyrinth Adventure. So the next thing I think is the adventure book. So Labyrinth Adventures provide GMs 10 adventures that can be played independently or tied together via pieces of a mysterious portal key. Opportunities to explore numerous world settings in small controlled excursions. Resources to introduce players and their characters to remarkable locations and renowned factions. Plenty of flavor, inspiration for continuing adventures in the paths, portals, and sites of the labyrinth. Now, there is a free preview on Drive Through RPG, which I've downloaded, and we will look at shortly. And then we have our rewards. Now, one thing I want to skip down to, we'll look at the Labyrinth World Book thing here in a second, but I want to skip over to the adventures. So we were just talking about it. So 10 adventures, right? Hardcover delivers a complete campaign of 10 adventures from levels 1 through 8 with a linked plot line for running them in sequence. Of course, you can run any adventure independently if you want to dip in for a level or two. But I like how we're getting this book of individual adventures that can optionally be tied together in a campaign, and they've given us that overall plot hook already built right into it, that if we want to use it we can. So that is super cool. Levels 1 through 8, that's cool, but it almost makes you have to like start in the labyrinth. I kind of wish this is more like, I don't know, like 5 through 13 would be kind of, I feel like, a cool level range for the labyrinth. But I know the quality of the adventure from Kobold Press has never once disappointed me. So very excited. This next thing though, the GM Vault. So they're working with Beetle and Grimm on this, and we are going to get our first Kobold Press Beetle and Grimm box set. Now, I have never bought a Beetle and Grimm set before. They're generally just out of my price range, and I don't play many of the official modules, so haven't felt the need until now, and I really do like this. I do want to back this. It's still a little pricey. It's we'll look at the prices here in a minute, but it gives you a lot, right? We get 6 battle maps, we get 10 GM maps, we get 30 encounter cards, we get 15 in-world handouts, we get a GM screen, which definitely excited about, and VTT tools, which I'm not sure what that means yet. So I guess we'll see. But the Beetle and Grimm Labyrinth GM Vault is something new for Kobold Press, a custom box of props, handouts, maps, and more. It includes a custom Labyrinth GM screen and is available as an add-on for any print pledge level. So it is an add-on. You don't back it as part of your pledge. Now they do have limited edition books here. They have the standard limited editions, which is what I generally get, and then they have the leather bound ones, which are generally very pricey. So you can take a look here. So here's the different add-ons. There's a JPEG map pack. There's a dice tray. There's dice. There's VTTs for Demiplane, Fantasy Grounds, Shard, Alchemy, and Foundry. Funny enough, I don't see Roll20 on here for some reason. I wonder why. But not to say they won't have Roll20. They're just not listing it here right now. But we do have dice. And then here is the Beetle and Grimm. So it's $125 for the Beetle and Grimm, which I have to look at how much the D&D ones generally are, but that seems like a pretty reasonable price for a Beetle and Grimm box set. So, and then there are, of course, stretch goals, which most are already unlocked. So we've already unlocked a design seminar, world building elders from Dragonlance to Midgard. So they have got a bunch of industry world building experts to run this seminar. There's more information on the page about that. We have unlocked the Trickery Cleric subclass, so nice to see the Trickery Cleric coming into Tales of the Valiant. We have new monsters by guest designer Dan Dillon. Dan is a fantastic designer. If you are a Kobold Press fan, Dan was a major part of Lay Magic in the Midgard setting. Which I very, very, very much like Lay Magic. The wizard in my Midgard campaign uses Lay Magic, and I actually wrote a Lay Magic spell, which appeared in Deep Magic too. So big fan of Dan's. In the Court of the Clockwork Queen, a level 4 adventure by Lou Anders. Lou is a very, very talented world builder, adventure writer, and big fan of Kobold Press and the Midgard setting. He's done many blog posts. He's written adventures, I believe, in Tales of the Old Margrave, maybe. And then he has his own world called Throat and Bones. It's his own campaign setting. I just did a video on it recently. Definitely go check that out. Lou is amazing, fantastic, and a good friend. 20 labyrinthine spells. So 20 extra spells specifically for the labyrinth. And then 5 more monsters by Richard Green, who another fantastic creator. So, and they list out those here. We have the Destroying Angel, the Maze Imp, the Pyrocoal Fiend, the Maze Tomb Guardian, and the Tunnel Sphinx. Tunnel Sphinx sounds cool. And I'm really excited about this last stretch goal here, which is going to be the Maze Runner level 7 adventure. Yes, definitely want this. Now, my feeling is here that we'll probably see some new stretch goals added after we hit 275. I would think, maybe. I know that during the AMA that Kobold Press did about the Labyrinth about a week ago, I had brought up the Mechanist class for Tales of the Valiant and how we wanted more subclasses. And Wolfgang did mention that he thought there was one as a stretch goal, and I don't see it here. So either he was mistaken, or maybe there's one to come at a later time. So there we go. We'll get over to the PDF here in a second, but let's just take a look down the side here at the different pledge levels. Now, if you backed within the first 48 hours, there was this coin here that you can get, which I did. That's not available anymore, but let's just go down here real quick. So available rewards as of now. So we have just the Labyrinth Adventures PDF. So this is the Adventures only as a PDF. the world book only as a PDF. So the Adventures was 20, the world book is 30. You have the Adventures hardcover plus PDF combo for 50. You have the world book hardcover plus PDF for 60. You have the digital world book and adventure and map. So this is all PDFs of both books plus the map pack for 63. And if you're looking for a digital setup, this is the way to go. The maps I think are going to be very, very handy, especially if you play with a TV on your table or you're playing on BTTs. That's going to be useful. Here's the limited edition cover of the Adventures, and it comes with its PDF as well. That's 69. Any physical book reward comes with the PDF. So here's the limited edition world book and PDF for 80. And then we have our standard edition. So this is the Labyrinth world book, Adventures, and PDF. So both books with both PDFs. And it looks like it also includes the map pack here for 109. So that's a really nice setup there. That I think if you're looking for physical reward, this is probably the one to go with if you're looking for both books. If you want, now this is what I backed, but I got the coin with it because I backed within the first 48 hours. So this is the limited edition and the maps for 149. And then we get into our retail versions here. So there's the retail versions. There is also the handbound leather edition. So the handbound leather edition, very expensive, but you get both books in a handbound leather book. You get the PDFs, it includes the Beetle and Grimm, it includes the map pack, it includes the coin, all for $8.99. A little pricey for me, but that is, I mean, those books are awesome. So honestly, I think that there is usually, look at it, there's only 2 people who back this. Only 12 going to be available. So these are very, 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 anytime Kobold Press does a Kickstarter, if you get the leather bounds, you're probably one of a handful of people in the world who have that. So they're very, very cool. Then you can see here the all gone. So which are the same as the ones above, but with the coin. So which is what I got. So there you go. So that's everything. So why don't we hop over? Let's take a look at the PDF. So the PDF here, this is the preview PDF. So you can see here, we've got in chapter 1, overview, history, cosmology. So you can see some of the recent events that have happened in the Labyrinth. The 7 Secrets. So 7 Secrets is something that Kobold Press has done before in their books, like in the Midgard World book. They have the 7 Secrets of Midgard, things like how it's a flat world and stuff like that. So we do get the worlds of the Labyrinth. Sunlit, warded, shadowed, darkened, lost. We get the peoples of the Labyrinth. So cultures, languages, knowledge and exploration, void cultists, time in the Labyrinth, how the time works. There's actually the hub calendar here. There are specific holidays and festivals even. Modes of travel. So this is going to be an important one, right? Gates and portals, roads and tunnels, dreams, and the ring. Then we have here the worlds of the Labyrinth. There's the smithy, the links and tunnels, hidden cities and strongholds, and other sites. There's this preview PDF is only like 18 pages. But the other PDF I had mentioned earlier that you can get from the Kobold Press site does go into some of these topics in greater detail. We have the planes and pathways. So the astral sea, the elemental spheres, the eternal plane, the river Styx, the world tree. Let's scroll back up here so we can see. Here's our core worlds. Now you'll notice Midgard is a core world. So for you Midgard fans, I mentioned this earlier, Midgard is a very big part of the Labyrinth. And there are things about Midgard that are answered. You'll notice the Summerlands is on here and the Shadow Realm is on here. These are all parts of Midgard. For a long time there, it's been theorized that the Summerlands was on the flip side of the coin, of the flat Earth of Midgard. Midgard is a flat world, so everyone thought maybe the Summerlands is what's on the other side. Well, it looks like it might not be. It looks like it might be its own world. And I actually asked this question during the AMA, which is on YouTube. If you go to Kobold Press's YouTube channel, check out the Labyrinth AMA. That was a question I asked about. And it does sound like the Summerlands is not on the flip side. So what is? I don't know, but I'm excited. So we do get that. We do get the void plane. We get dead worlds and the near void. We get locations in the deep void. We have factions. So the factions are kind of cool. And the factions do get fleshed out a bit more in that other PDF. We've got heroes of the Labyrinth. So here's our subclasses. And you'll notice that one of the subclasses is the Mechanist Tinker. This one is the one I am very, very excited about this one. I love the Mechanist subclass, and there's been a lot of talk about we want like a tinkerer type of guy, so I can't wait to see this one. We have a Void Wizard subclass. We have a Celestial Warlock. We've got a Spy Rogue. I mean, this all looks really good. I can't wait. The Knowledge Domain Cleric and the Crafting Domain Cleric, which I think might be something maybe like a Forge Cleric. Very, very excited about subclasses. I hope we see even more with more stretch goals. Lineages here. So if you're familiar with Tales of the Valiant, instead of race or species, we've got lineage and heritage. Lineage being what you're born as. I'm an elf. I'm a dwarf. Heritage is more of your upbringing. So if you're a an elf, but you were raised within the labyrinth, you might have like the mazeborn. If you were born here, these are your learned abilities. Something like elven weapon training from D&D. That's a learned ability. If you weren't raised in elven forest, you wouldn't have that. So that's what heritages do. So it allows us to mix and match the different parts of what used to be a race to make much more customized type of things. And then we do have backgrounds still. And backgrounds, I just did a video on Tales of the Valiant backgrounds as well. But backgrounds and Tales of the Valiant are very, very cool. So we have some new ones here. Talents, all talents are broken into magic, martial, or technical talents. These are Tales of the Valiant's versions of feats. Having new talents is very exciting. Then we have our magic and mysteries and our spells. I do see vehicles and mounts right here. So again, curious about that. I'm always a fan of clockwork stuff from Kobold Press. So we do have some clockwork stuff over here. And then we do have magic styles, clockwork magic, dream magic, illumination, portal, ward, and void. All cool stuff to see. When we get down here, we've got the Pantheon. So we do have some more stuff about the gods and their effect on the labyrinth. We've got running labyrinth campaigns. I mean, we can run an entire campaign in the labyrinth if we wanted to, or we might just have a little adventure while we're hopping from one world to the next. We do have monsters of the labyrinth, so that's really cool. Let's see here, what do we have? We've got anything that looks Realm Singer Demons, interesting. Bone Ghouls. Let's see, we got some angels in here. Some of this stuff looks familiar from maybe some of the old Toma Beast, Creature Codex type books. Some of it looks new. What's a Portal Eater? Since there is a whole faction dedicated to portals and keys, I think they're called the Keepers of the Keys. And portals are a way to get from one world to another. I would imagine a Portal Eater destroys those portals. So there's a lot of potential right there. And then we do have some appendix for labyrinth encounters and world bending sources. So a lot of cool stuff. And they do give us, just a little bit here. They give us a little taste of some stuff here. Let's see. What do we got? There is the Void Angel. Very cool art, by the way. We have got Void Mother Basalar the Sweet. Let's see here. What else is in here? More cool art. Look at this. Embrace the Void's power. So we got some info on the Void. Here's one of those new Dragonborn, it looks like. Very, very cool. A couple new magic items in here. Some spells already. And that's it. That's what they give us here. There is, however, this is the other PDF I mentioned that you can get. You can buy it from Kobold Press. It's only like $5 or something, but it is a nice little preview. This is the map, by the way. The reason I have this up, this is the map of the labyrinth. So you can see the world tree in the center here, but the other core worlds are the Summerlands, Midgard, and a few others, right? And then we have like these outer worlds. We've got the 10,000 worlds. Here are the elemental rings, the astral sea, the old ring, the celestial worlds, the 9 hells. So all sorts of stuff here. So I can't wait to see this kind of detailed and built out a little bit more. But they do have a lot of cool stuff here. Let me pull up the table of contents for this book here. So you can see here, two things I want to show you real quick is first off the faction. So here's the Keeper of Keys, like I was mentioning. So these guys deal with access to worlds and stuff like that. So there are a lot of cool factions. If we look at the worlds here, yeah, we have the core worlds, and they do talk briefly about each one. But then there's the outer worlds. And what they did here, let's close this so we can read it better, is they included something like 70 worlds here. So it's our this section includes a sample includes sample worlds one might find when traveling the labyrinth. 70 of these worlds were designed by supporters of Tales of the Valiant RPG. Most of these are traditional fantasy settings that have been run for years by the creators who are acknowledged below. Note that Kobold Press doesn't own or endorse these settings, but they are presented here to demonstrate the range of worlds players might find within the labyrinth. So the idea here is that these are worlds just like your homebrew world that you can tie your homebrew world in. A lot of people keep asking, what's the official setting of Tales of the Valiant? And they don't really want to put a face to it. If anything, it's the labyrinth because the labyrinth is all worlds. It's a method to travel to any world. Midgard is a part of that, and it's one of my favorites, and it's where I generally play my games in, but it's not the only one. So we can very easily transition to different worlds through the labyrinth. So I would definitely recommend going and grabbing Guide to the Labyrinth off of Kobold Press's site. Wolfgang wrote most of this himself. So very, very cool. So that is about it for the labyrinth. I think this is gonna be a fun setting. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I definitely have my doubts about the concept of the labyrinth when I first heard about it. But now that I've been reading about it, I'm very, very excited to see this come to fruition. I definitely see myself using this in my personal games. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So definitely go check it out. What are your thoughts on the labyrinth? Do you like this concept of this world between worlds, a way to interconnect all fantasy worlds together? Yes, it's been done before with Sigil and Spelljammer, but I almost feel like Sigil and Spelljammer are more a part of the labyrinth. Like they're not set apart. They are their own or they're interweaved into the labyrinth in a way. So I think this was done very, very well. Let me know what your thoughts are on the labyrinth. Is this something that you're interested in? Do you like the idea of this? Do you plan to back it, or do you have your own way, maybe, of interconnecting worlds? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's about it for today, guys. So thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I'll see you next time.